Okay, so this one is going to be about prepping and priming the body to jump. So some good series of movements to go through to kind of optimize function of some of the more important segments of the bodies, like your hip, upper back, and trunk. So we're gonna first start off with kind of a strider series. And I like to take a lot of my athletes through this before we get into most workouts. So what we're gonna do is get into a split stance here, excuse me. Allowing that back hip to be slightly extended. It's important to understand that when we extend the back hip that we're not becoming overextended at that lumbar spine of that lower back. What we're gonna do here first is fall forward, placing our right hand on our right foot. And we're gonna gently press away on that knee, to provide a little bit of activation and work through that hip capsule. I like to spend about 3 to 5 seconds here, followed by placing the hand on the outside of my knee and then driving internally. Everything here should be dynamic and fluid and not spend too much time in any one given position. From that position here, I'm going to drop my hand open, placing the hand on the inside of my knee and doing what's called a can opener here, and just kind of pressing open. You'll notice that I'm keeping contact with the floor with my foot. I'm not lifting my heel or my foot off the floor. So we're pressing away. We'll bring it in here. I'll take a big breath in and I'm going to open toward the ceiling, 3 to 5 seconds, followed by hands to the ground, walk the foot, and then bring that knee between the hands into a pigeon. And then I'm going to press that outside hip gently toward the ground. And you'll feel that stretch in the outside of your hip, in your glutes, and then we'll rinse and repeat on the other side. So it's a handful of movements to kind of open up that hip. I'll follow this series by staying on the ground and then getting into some of that mid-back. We're gonna go 4 points of contact here, and you'll notice that I have my hands below my shoulders, knees below the hips. I'm gonna start by taking a big breath in, and as I exhale, I'm going to slip my hand underneath, and I will lower, shoulder toward the ground, and bring back up. You'll notice I didn't hang out there for too long. Another breath in, exhale, and reach through. I'll repeat this about 8 to 10 times per side, just working on getting that breathing under control. And through this whole process, what I'm starting to do is get my mind wrapped around the fact that I'm going to be starting to jump very soon. So it's prepping my body physically and then also cognitively as well, and kind of tapering that focus toward jumping. So I'll move from hip opener, upper back, and then we'll get into what's called an RKC plank or an active plank, so we can kind of light up some of those tissues through the abdomen. We're gonna get elbows and toes. So traditional plank position, but what we're gonna do here that's a little bit different is we're gonna clench our butt cheeks together. So we're gonna squeeze the butt cheeks and drive the elbows toward my toes, digging my elbows into the ground. What this will do is create some full body tension. So by activating quads, glutes, and driving through that front of our body, what we do is we create kind of global tension through the entire body, and we start to link those pathways together. So we go strider complex or hip opener, upper back and T-spine, then into an active RKC plank. And what I'll do is, before I get into any more of my dynamic moving warm-up drills, I will go through some mini bounds, working on some quick firing of the muscles into some landing mechanics. What we'll do here is start with 2 feet, and we're gonna do about 2 or 3 little dorsey bounds and then land in a nice stable position. So 1, 2, 3, land, nice and tall. 1, 2, 3, land. And what I'm doing here is not just flopping around and going through the motions, is I'm actually trying to link that entire body together. So I'm holding nice and tight through my abdomen the whole time. Sometimes I'll place my hands on my stomach like this. I'll go through variations using 2 feet. I'll also use a variation with a single foot as well, which looks a little bit like this. Nice and tall. 1, 2, 3, land. I'll switch feet. And what we're doing here is, again, kind of turning up the volume knob on that nervous system and getting things a little bit more responsive. So nice little series to put together if you're getting prepped to jump. I would recommend following some of this is just to start lightly patterning your approach before you get into your full jump attempts. Hope it was helpful. We'll talk to you soon.